Hello everybody and welcome back to Music Ed Now. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make an interactive piano using PowerPoint, and it functions like this. So here we are inside the presentation, and what you'll see here on slide 1 is the working model that I've demonstrated in the introduction. And down here we're going to start from scratch. So step 1, we're going to get our shape, we're going to get our drawing for the piano. We're going to insert shapes, and all we need here is the rectangle shape. That looks about right for now. You can do a lot of this by eyeballing the shape for now, and we'll get it uniform in a moment. So the first little side tip is pressing Command and D will duplicate this shape, and because I've aligned it up exactly beside it, I can press Command and D again and it will give me exactly the same distance across. So a nice little handy way of duplicating. Next thing we want to do is center this on the page. So I'm going to drag across this whole shape. I'm going to press Option, Command and G, or Alt, Control and G if you're on a Windows computer. So up the top I actually have these as shortcuts, but I'm just going to show you how to do this. In the shape format, go to Arrange, go to Align, and then you can say Align to Center. And that puts it in the center. You can do the same thing to align it to the middle. And now what we need is I'm going to ungroup this by pressing Option, Command, Shift and G. I'm going to take one of the shapes. I'm going to duplicate that. And for this is going to be our black keys. So we'll go a little bit narrower and a little bit shorter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that into the middle there of the two of the white notes. And now what we'll do is go up to the shape fill, make that black. So now I duplicate this, put it across where it needs to be, and then I'm just going to hit it a few more times, and what I'll end up doing is removing this one here to get what a piano is. Now what I'm going to do is I'll select everything again, and with everything selected I'm now going to go up here into the shape format, go to the shape effects, and I'm going to put a little bevel on this so that it makes this look a bit more realistic. So we have the visual here of the piano, but now what we're going to do is look to see how we make this interactive with the animations of the notes popping up and the colored keys when we press on them. So I'm going to select the first white key here. In animations, I'm going to go over here, and in this emphasis effects, I'm going to put in the fill color. I'll open up my animation pane, and I don't mind what color it changes to for now, so we can leave it as orange. For this, we're going to change it to 0.5 seconds so that it fills in quite quickly. Then what I'm going to do is, using my Arrange on the shape format, I'm going to open up the selection pane here on the right hand side, and you'll see there rectangle 3 is going to be my C note on the piano. The selection pane is really handy for keeping an eye on where your shapes are, and it's sometimes a good idea to double click here and rename this C key. Editor Dave will speed all this up for us. So there we have all of our keys, and the reason why they're named will become apparent now in a second when we go to start doing our animation. In our animation so far, all we have is this first one here filling up with that color. Next thing we need to do is animate the note name to come in when that key is pressed. So we're going to do that now. I double click anywhere on the white space. I'm going to do a capital C. We're going to make this nice and big, and maybe in bold too. You can make it whatever color you want. For now, I'll just keep it nice and boring. What we'll also do here while we're at it is we will, for the shape format, let's fill in the shape with a white, and let's put a black border around it so you get this kind of idea. If you want it to be a different shape, for example, you want it to be rounded corners, you can change the shape really easily in this portion here. So with shape format selected, go into over here on the left, change shape, and you can change it to whatever you want there. We're going to make sure that this position in the middle of the page again. So we go to our Arrange, Align, and we want it aligned to the center. So that's perfectly in the center. And then we're going to animate this to appear. So you can use appear, you can have it fly in, you can do whatever you want. If you want to get fancy with it, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Appear. I'm going to say down here with previous. So that as soon as this note is clicked, this will appear at the same time. And then the other thing we need to do now is on this one here, we want there to be a sound. So the C note is going to sound when I have when this animation appears automatically. So it's piano C3 here, and all of these audio files are available to download from our Patreon page in the link in the description, as is this PowerPoint with the functioning piano already in place if you want to use it straight away out of the box. And just while I'm on this inserting of audio, you'll see I have all of these loaded in already, and that's because I made this PowerPoint already today. But if you are starting from scratch by putting an audio sound in with an animation, you'll go all the way down the end here to other sound, and it's there where you'll be able to get access to your files on your computer. So once you save the audio files of the piano or download them from our Patreon link, you'll have those notes available to you. So I have piano C3 here. So now what's going to happen is when this appears, the C note is going to play on that one. Then I also want to create an exit effect. So I'm going to press on this text box again. And then for exit effect, I'm just going to have disappear. I also want that to happen after previous, so after it appears, and with a 1 second delay, so it stays on screen for 1 second just for people to see what note it was supposed to be. And then the last thing we need to do in our animation in the sequence is have another emphasis effect, this time fill color, but this time what we're going to do is revert to our white key with previous, and again we're going to keep it nice and fast, 0.5 seconds. Then we've got that. Now the magic in terms of making this interactive, with all of these animations selected, I'm now going to go over to the trigger button, and this is a very fancy thing that PowerPoint can do. And just a note to say that this has to be on the desktop version of the app. This won't work on the Office 365 online web-based one. So what we're going to do is we're going to say on the click of the C key, and that's why we named our notes in the selection pane earlier. On the click of the C key, all of this animation is going to happen. So now with that in mind, let's go into presentation mode. So there we have it. It's working for us. So we press on the note, it fills the color on the key, and then it pops up what note that was. So now that we have it functioning, all that remains is for us to do this on every other note in the piano. So I'm going to do C sharp and D just to show you how that would work. So let's start again. We have what we need is an emphasis fill, and I like to change the color to something else for the sharp keys or the black notes. So what we're going to say is on this one here we have the fill color coming in, and it's going to be this green or teal. Again, we'll change that to 0.5 seconds. The next thing we need to do is I'll just duplicate this and recenter it, and what we're going to say about this one is going to be C sharp or D flat. And what I'll do is I'll just make sure that this is centered on the page. And then it already has the exit effect because I've duplicated this from our other text box. So that's one, it cuts down on a little bit of the time consuming process. Then we're going to do an emphasis fill for the fourth step in our sequence. We have to make sure it's with previous. It's 0.5 seconds. And this time we want it not changing back to a white key, but obviously a black key. On the appear effect, we also need to change the sound from C3 to D flat, which is here. It's really important to remember that when we have all of these four animations, the sequence done, we go to our trigger button, and on the click of C sharp key, that sequence is going to happen so that we can continuously play it. Otherwise, you'll only get the sequence of animation happening once, and it won't be interactive, it won't be playable to overplay the notes again. C sharp, so I can press the C sharp. So let's finally just do D, just to show you these three notes, and then you know what to do for the rest of them yourself. So this is our D key. We have to start with our emphasis fill. We're going to let that go orange. We're going to do 0.5 seconds. Next thing we're going to do is duplicate this text box. This time it's going to say D. And we're going to line it up on the page properly. The exit effect is already done because we duplicated that one. And this time we need to have D sounding instead of D flat on the entrance. And for the fourth step in the animation sequence, we just need to make sure that our fill color returns to white. We're going to do 0.5 seconds for that one as well. And this needs to be with previous. Then all of these D triggers need to happen on the click of the D key. So I hope you found that useful. There'll be lots more tutorials like this on the way, so do be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're trying our best to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the summer, so every subscription is greatly appreciated. This has been David Kennedy with Music Ed Now, and I'll see you in the next video.